and welcome to Tales from the Closet. This is a show for queer people. Today I'm joined with three people I'm very excited to talk to today. And you know what? I'm just going to jump right into it. I'm so giddy. To my left, who are you? How do you identify? What are you up to?
Yeah, well, I'm Brad. I am your brother. That might be a good point of reference for you. I identify as a gay man. Yeah, what was that last question?
Your pronouns, I guess, would be he.
Yeah, he
him.
then. Right, he, him.
Love
Yeah.
it.
Yeah.
Well, welcome to the program.
Thank you. Thank you.
Moving on.
Yeah.
Who are you?
I'm Jasmin. I identify as bisexual.
Cool.
And, she, her is good.
Love it. Thank you. Welcome, Jasmin. And
Hi, my name is Ken. I am brother to Jasmin. I identify as bisexual as well.
Cool.
And my pronouns are he, him.
love it.
Yes,
well,
yes.
As the listeners can tell, we have an all-sibling episode.
Woo.
Queer siblings are something that I'm obsessed with. Whenever I hear that someone has another queer sibling, I'm like, yes.
And
Right,
it's
right.
weirdly common.
It is.
I just keep meeting
everywhere.
them. I keep meeting them.
Yes.
This is awesome.
It's in the water.
This is awesome.
Is it in the
gene
nature or the
pool.
nurture?
Right.
We'll
Yeah.
see.
Right.
A little bit of each.
It's in the potato salad.
Yeah. We did eat a lot of potato salad growing up. We just go through all the products we consumed
Oh my God,
growing
I
up.
know.
Exactly.
You had a Stretch Armstrong?
I obviously believe it's like genetic, but I kind of love entertaining the idea that my parents made us gay.
Yeah.
Because they were like super conservative, and it's like,
Yes.
I almost feel like that makes a person gay.
Oh my God! If that's the ingredients, then there it is.
Checks
Right.
out, right?
Yeah,
Checks out.
that's
I
true.
mean,
Yeah.
they
There
always
it
say
is.
like
Yeah.
you get the kid that you need, or like for a lesson or something, and I'm like,
So
oh
cute.
yeah, our super like
Aw.
conservative parents were like, interesting. Like
Yeah.
I just
Right.
imagine them our whole life just being like
Right.
recalculating.
Right.
Okay, interesting. Yeah, so what up top we usually share some stories from the closet. Do you have any stories that stick out? Could be actually coming out or some weird thing where you were just like, I'm definitely different than everyone around me.
Yeah. Well, when I came out to mom, it was kind of climactic.
Ooh.
Yeah,
Okay.
so we were you were out of the house, and we went to church religiously, obviously.
I go to church religiously.
Right. And it was just like this dumb as fuck church that was just like so like annoying.
go.
And like the pastor was this like slow talking farmer who was like super homophobic and shit. And the whole congregation, it was really dumb. And I'd like completely, I like come to terms with it by then, but hadn't like fully come out to mom. And we were in the car about to go inside, and I was just like staying in the car, and she was like, "What are you doing?" And I was like, "I feel like I'm disrespecting myself by coming here."
Wow.
And that's because I'm gay, you know.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Oh, you
Oh my god.
Wow.
That is so
You know
crazy.
this?
No,
Okay.
I did not know this. This is
For your
absolute
info.
new info to me.
How
because
weird.
when I came out to mom, it was because she called me and said, I think Brad might be gay. And I went, I think I might be too. I just was like, and one.
Bam.
You know, like,
Yeah,
I might as well get mine in right
It's
now.
like,
You ain't gonna beat me to the
The
punch.
ball's
Brad.
in the air. I mean, I'll just keep it. I truly just like was a stowaway on your railroad.
Oh, my
You made a
God.
whole moment of like, I can't get out of the car.
How funny, because I remember when
You were doing a sit-in, and I just said, "Oh, also maybe me."
Well, I had the opposite sentiment because when we came out to each other, it was so cute. Yeah, so beautiful.
Yeah.
Like we were on a road trip to a music festival in Washington, and I was like, 15, 16, and somehow
Yeah.
got into a bar in Portland.
Yeah, Brad has always looked truly so old, and I've always
Yeah.
looked so young.
Yeah.
Wow.
I still get carded to this day. They're like,
That's
you can't
awesome.
smoke cigarettes. I'm like, the age is like 16. And Brad was like, we got to this bar and we were like, oh no, Brad won't be able to get in. And he was like, pop the trunk and took out a leather jacket, put on a leather jacket and walked into the bar as a 16-year-old. No one carded him. They immediately carded me after
That is
him.
hilarious.
It's so funny, yeah. But I mean, it went down between us where I think you were like, are you gay? And I was
Oh.
like, yeah. And you were like, me too. It was very like simple. But my impression was always like, technically, you came out to me first. And
Because
I've
I
always
was
been
like,
bitter, yeah.
Are you gay? Yeah, I made
yeah.
the move.
Right. So funny.
That's awesome.
Oh, that's
Yeah.
funny.
That's
Yeah, what
amazing.
about y'all?
You want to go first?
Sure. So I have always identified, well, before this, as bi-curious. I've had experiences with females since I was a little girl. And I just knew, I'm like, okay, that's a thing.
Yeah.
And then
Totally.
at some point, I think I've kind of like deflected, and if I had some experiences where I've kind of put that in the closet, and I'm like, okay, guess I'll just be with a guy. So after 3 engagements and 1 divorce,
Wow.
I have recently
Yes.
discovered that I should be on this other path, like females is the way to go.
Wow.
And this was just
Yes.
so a couple months ago where I was like, yeah, I'm pretty sure this is
You're going down that
I'm going
route.
down a whole nother path. And
Wow.
I'm gonna just be out about it, be proud, and not, question or hide or just do the whole, go to the bars, get drunk, and hit on straight women kind of
Yeah.
thing.
Good on you. Cool.
Awesome.
Yeah, so
You,
this is
whenever
very new.
you're kind of like, in my experience before I came out, when I was kind of like teetering, that was the option. It was
Right,
like,
yeah.
go hit on straight women. It's
Yeah.
like, that will be a nightmare. Like,
Yeah.
no one is like lining up when you do that.
No, not at
Yeah,
all.
yeah, yeah,
Not at
yeah.
all.
Right.
Yes, I've experienced that. And so henceforth, back in the closet.
Yeah.
And
Yes.
waited several years.
Oh,
Wow.
So happy.
So,
for
but I
you.
feel so free, so
Really?
good, so
Oh,
happy.
that's so great.
Yes.
In my 40th year of age.
Hell
like,
yeah.
Took a while, but
A glow. Oh my gosh, no, that we talk about that in this podcast all the time. There's no late. Like the idea that we put that on ourselves, like, oh, I'm late.
Right.
It's like
That's what I was
people
thinking.
come out at 70. People come out on their
That's true.
deathbed.
Yeah,
like
totally.
that's late.
Totally.
that's
Right.
true.
Yeah.
That's
so
true.
true.
I've always felt that my I have respect for the complicated nature of just sexuality in general. Yet I don't feel that for myself. I've never had an inkling of attraction to like women, so it's
Yeah.
very clear cut for me. But I've always like been open to accepting that it's not for so many people,
Right, yeah.
and it could
Yeah.
oscillate and whatever, and
Totally.
be
Right.
fluid, you know.
Right.
And that's the
Absolutely.
thing. I think some
Yeah.
people lose that respect for fluidity,
Yeah.
and like, especially like very binary gay people are kind
Yeah.
of like, oh, bi people.
Right.
This like
Yeah.
biphobia that you feel
Right.
that's like,
Right.
pick a side. And
Right,
it's like,
right,
no,
yeah.
excuse me.
Right.
Right.
I'm
Yes.
sorry. I thought this was an accepting
Right, I
community.
thought
No
Exactly.
kidding. Right.
Oh
Ever,
no,
yeah.
honey, you just on one stop before Gay Street. Like,
Right,
no,
right,
like,
right,
get
right.
off the
Yes.
bus, honey.
Yeah,
we all
yeah.
waiting for you in Margaritaville. I'm like, okay, well, I'm not getting off the bus.
Right? I'm gonna stay on.
I still like Punani.
Yeah. And I love the idea of Margaritaville being a gay district. Yeah, it's great. It's the new boys' town.
like
Yeah.
that? Did you like
It's good.
I feel you. I feel like she's glowing. Like there's like a glow about her. Then there's this
Love
sense of like
that.
of happiness, and she just seems so like I don't know. It just feels so
You
good.
too. You too.
Aw.
Since you came out.
This is already my favorite
Yes,
episode.
right? Yeah. Tell your story, brother.
Oh my
Okay,
God.
yeah.
So like you, I grew up in a conservative, Christian family, and so I just felt like I was hearing all the messages, coming at me in church, like, oh, I just possibly can never. There's no safe place to land. Like, who am I
No.
going to tell this to?
Right.
Because
Yeah.
it's all wrong. And then not only that, but like I was working in like youth ministry.
Yeah.
So of course I'm like a youth leader. Like, oh my
Right.
God, there's no way I can come out.
Oh
at
yeah, what
all.
example would you be?
Right.
Exactly, you know what I'm saying? And
Yeah.
we knew he shouldn't have been working with the kids. You know, it's just
Yeah, yeah.
you know, and
That
so I
weird
was-
blurred
Yeah,
line
yes.
between pedophilia and homosexuality
Exactly.
that happens
Exactly.
only in church.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Come on.
Exactly.
Come on.
So I was
Yeah.
just like, there's no way I can say anything to anybody. So I'll just kind of stay with, the ladies because that's like a perfect cover for me just to exist in that space. But the reality is that I was also having feelings for guys and being completely attracted. And I think now I find myself even more comfortable I've never been in a relationship with a guy at this point. Because
Wow.
I'm still like on my journey of coming out, right?
Totally,
And so
yeah.
here we
Yeah.
are. 40th birthday in a month, and I'm like,
Yes.
you know what? It's time for me to really sit, recalibrate, recalculate, and live my authentic self.
Yes.
Ah,
Yes.
so beautiful.
And
Yes.
so
Yeah.
this whole podcast we had a conversation about it. Like, I was like, do you want to do this? And
Like,
she was
yes.
yes,
Yes,
let's do
it's
it.
time.
Like,
It's
this
happening.
is a part of our journey, right?
Yeah.
And it's
Yeah.
so
Yes, it really
organic
is.
in the way that it's happening.
Yes.
And that we're not trying to
Timing.
have like, we weren't necessarily trying to fly a banner, but
Right.
just everything has just been falling into place.
Yeah.
I love
Where
that.
we allow our story to unfold in these natural ways. And so here we
Yeah.
are. If you listening, I like boys. If you're listening. So, I love that. I love that.
Yeah.
That's really interesting because I think not having a relationship in gay culture, does that feel, I don't know, speaking from like the more male binary gay experience, is it less common to have a relationship with
in my life.
men?
Yeah. I mean, I have little short sprints of relationships. I don't know if I don't know if I can project that,
Yeah,
but I mean, I
onto
see
the
it.
whole
I do
gay
see it.
culture.
Yeah.
Right.
Not much of the LTR kind of fella.
Yeah.
Right.
You know,
Right.
So yeah, I mean, I don't feel like, you know, I guess we're aware of like the tropes or whatever of like, you know, gay women coupling
Moving to-
up.
Right,
the
right,
U-Haul
right.
joke, you know. Okay.
Right.
Yeah, but I mean, yeah, like there's probably some truth to that. Like just from my observance, it doesn't feel like I don't know, like you're not living a gay life if you're not in a relationship. You know?
Right.
Yeah,
You know?
Right.
totally.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
I think for me, if my whole life has been driven by fear, so it was like I didn't want to search. I couldn't even go to West Hollywood. Like, if somebody go see me in WeHo. Right. You know, I don't want
Right.
anybody
Yeah.
to see me driving down the street. Like, so
Yeah.
I was fearful of everything in the community, right? Because
Yeah.
I was afraid that I would be identified and thus outed.
Yeah.
Yes.
And so I was always
properly
just
identified.
properly
too, is like the part of that. Yeah.
right.
Yeah.
So it was just like, let me stay away and kind of live in this whole little bubble.
Yeah.
And now you're like, I feel like, man, see, you missed out on some things because you don't know where you could have been at this point. But
Yeah.
I'm also happy with the new exploration, right?
Yeah. Yes.
And like, this is my time. And so, like you said, I don't have to think about what could have happened or what should have happened.
Yeah.
Just
Yeah.
exist in the now.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Yeah, totally. What do you feel like? Do you feel like you would want a relationship with a man, or does it still feel too early? Where are you at, and when did that switch?
I feel like I would definitely want a relationship with a man simply because I denied myself all of those feelings to be valid in the first place.
Yes.
So maybe had I just been on a normal unfolding of all of that, I don't know where I would be now. But since I denied myself that part, then that's the part that I feel needs to be satisfied.
Yeah,
If that
that
makes
makes a lot of
sense.
sense.
Sure.
Yeah.
Right?
Definitely,
So
yeah.
it's just like, you should explore that part of you because for so long you denied it.
Yeah.
Well, that
Yeah.
makes
That's what
sense
you
with
want, yeah.
feeling bisexual too.
Right.
You're like you're like the opposite sex part of you. You're like,
Right.
well, I can explore all of that.
Yeah.
Right.
And be
right.
fine. So this
Right.
other part kind of got weak or
Right.
anemic.
Exactly.
Yeah.
No attention, you know.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Ooh.
Are you curious about I guess like how that will feel, how you'll settle in with a relationship versus how you've had it with women, I guess.
Yeah.
Like
I
I'm
am
curious for you. You know?
Exactly.
Yeah.
I'm right.
What's that gonna feel like?
I
you
feel
know?
like Indiana Jones. I'm like, yeah. The temple of dicks. I'm so excited. Yes. I want a ball to be chasing me down the tunnel.
Yeah.
Right?
I'm excited. I
excited
am
for you.
so excited. And you're right. I'm curious. Like, what would that
Yeah.
look like? I thought about that. So, you know, if I meet the man of my dreams, like, is my family gonna come to the wedding? Like, ooh,
Yeah.
Yes.
I'm about to learn
All these
like,
things.
right? Like all these, like, you know, we talked like about it, like
Yes.
different, you know, okay, what's
A
gonna
lot
happen
more recently, yes.
Yeah, like, okay, so what does Thanksgiving look like if you bring somebody, or I don't know,
Yeah.
it's just.
Yeah.
Totally.
That's gonna be all new. It's
Yeah.
Yeah.
Does it feel like, I mean, I know I've felt this. It feels like, oh, at least I have one person.
Yes,
Yeah.
Yes, we
Yeah.
definitely have gotten closer.
Yes.
Oh,
since
yeah.
this
Vouch
happened.
for each
Yes.
other. Do you
And-
have other siblings?
We have
Yes.
other siblings.
Oh, okay,
There's a
great.
total of 5 of us.
You laugh. I don't know why. We
Why
do.
did you laugh, Jasmine? I like to laugh. That's what I do. I don't know.
We have siblings. It's funny.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah. There are 5 of us.
Yeah.
Oh,
There
okay,
are
great.
5 of us. So.
I'm imagine. Are you the only two queer leaning?
Yes.
Yeah.
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 Definitely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What we decided to do was, once we started talking about it, we said we need to go to more safe spaces for us.
Yes.
So every other Wednesday, we go out to WeHo and just hang out and just allow ourselves
Right,
to bond
yeah.
and connect. In a
Never
safe
done this
place.
on this level. So
Right,
yeah.
right.
So
And so
yeah.
we've been doing that for the last
Yeah.
2.5, 3 months.
Yeah, so
Every
it's
other
new.
Wednesday.
It's so new. It's exciting. Yeah.
And we get
I
so
love
excited.
it.
Totally.
We'll
So
stop
much
off
fun.
at one place and just kind of have a few drinks.
Yeah, it's
and then
just
we'll
to
go
be in
to
the
another
atmosphere.
spot. And it's just nice to be out. And
It
we
is
have
nice.
each other for that.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So
Oh my
good.
god, I love that. Like putting yourself kind of in the world
Mm-hmm.
a little,
Yes.
a little like dipping a toe.
Right,
in.
right,
Yes,
right.
Yeah,
yes.
together. Yeah,
Together, yeah.
Super
Exactly.
nice.
So
Yeah.
it's really dope.
It
So
helps.
you guys had kind of like a similar timeline in coming to this like spot you're in now, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
Which was like
Right, I
us.
know that.
Yeah,
Yes.
totally.
So that's super cute. I had this time, like the whole time as we're discovering things about like gay life, we're kind of like corresponding with each other about it.
Yeah, yeah.
It's just amazing to have that in your family.
Absolutely.
You know,
Totally,
with
yeah.
the history you
Absolutely.
share.
Do you
know.
feel like you guys knew about each other, or was it like, wait, what?
I've wondered. I've wondered. I mean, he's in the acting world, so he
Yeah.
can kind of get away with some stuff.
Yeah.
But
He's
I've
just
always
dramatic.
wondered. I've seen it with certain friends, and I've wondered. I'm like, oh, they'd be a cute couple. I wonder if they're a couple. Are they a couple?
Yeah.
So I've wondered, but I've never asked him. I'm like, he would let me know. I'm like, he should let me know. He would let me know. Like,
Yeah.
I didn't think he would keep it from me. So I've always wondered, but
Yeah.
I know. I
didn't
know.
know.
At what point did I say anything? Did I confirm that for you?
just last year,
Oh
just
my
before that
God.
show you did.
Yeah. Oh, yeah,
Just-
that's right.
Yeah.
That's right.
yeah.
This is all new for us.
Yes.
Real- I
Yeah, this is
love
all new
it.
for us. We're like
Oh
in
my
year
God.
2. And I wondered, but I wasn't sure. I thought you had come out though.
I was teeter-tottering, so yeah, I would like play with the idea.
Yeah.
You know, with my
I always
whole-
thought you were much braver than me because I was just like, oh my God.
What me? You're out on
Yeah.
stage doing your little skits and stuff. and-
talking about being with boys. Yeah, it was awesome though. I always
yeah.
felt like she was like strong, and I was like, oh my God, that's so amazing. She's living her life.
Really?
Oh,
Yes, I did.
oh my gosh.
God,
I'm
that's
so
cute.
scared. I'm so scared of life.
But you're
We
scared
are all
together.
so-
yeah,
Right,
now we can be
yeah.
fearful
Seriously,
together.
seriously.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
all of us
Together.
just clutching each other and
Right,
walking
right.
through life. Like, okay.
Not alone. Not alone.
Right,
Yeah.
right, right.
It's dope. I love it. I love the fact that we do have each other.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because I can call her and be like, oh my God, so this is what's going on.
Right,
Yeah.
yeah.
I need
Yes.
to bare my soul real quick.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
I appreciate you for that. I do. I really do.
Ugh.
It's made us closer.
It really
Yeah,
has.
sure.
It's made us
Yeah.
closer because we
Totally.
already are a close family. But like
Yeah.
obviously this binds us together in a whole
little
nother
bit
way.
closer.
On a whole nother level.
Do you guys think, like, just outside of being queer, like, I feel like I've noticed a weird thing that, like, even with, like, an age gap between us, we, like, Allie and I would, like, hit these landmarks at really similar times.
Yeah.
Even besides coming out, there were a lot of other things where it was,
Yeah.
like, this new experience, and they're like, me too. And it's just, like, have you noticed that outside of queerness? Like, just kind of, because you guys are pretty similar
Yeah,
ages?
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah.
So that would make sense,
Yeah.
I guess.
Yeah, I think you're absolutely right. At some point, we're like, well, we are close anyway.
Right, yeah.
You're like almost
So-
twins, right?
I know. Right, almost. Yeah, pretty much. Almost. And we've also had similar personalities growing up. So we
Yeah.
take family vacations to go camping and
Yeah, just
very
like
close-knit
RV
family.
trips and stuff. And so I think we would
We would
find
always, like-
ourselves couple up anyway.
Yeah.
Right,
Oh,
yeah.
yeah. The two
Totally.
that
Yeah.
were like
Yeah.
close.
Totally.
Our
Yeah,
genetics
yeah.
knew. Our genetics
They knew,
Yeah.
but we didn't know. We had no idea.
Yeah, wait, Brett, what are you talking? You mean like life experiences, like big jobs, or like what you're thinking about at the
Just
time?
really random shit. Like, what's the last thing I could remember that we were both like, oh, okay. I was saying to Allie, like, in relationships, I always feel like a baby. Like, that's
forgot about this.
a weird motif. Every guy I date eventually refers to me in some language as like a little baby. And I was like, it's weirdly kind of insulting, but like babies are endearing, and I think it's like part of the appeal. You know, like it's fine.
And then I was like, oh, I'm always the one who cries way more in a relationship. I'm just like a
funny.
weepy cancer that like if like a commercial comes on, I'm like, that's really beautiful. Like, you know.
So it's just weird bonding points that are so random, and
Yeah.
I'm not
Yeah.
expecting to like
Yeah.
share
Oh,
this
we
with
have
them.
that in common.
Yeah.
Okay, I get that.
It was
Yeah, yeah.
funny
Yeah.
though growing up because we were both pretty like like gender flopped, I would say, at least when it came to like things that we liked.
Okay.
And I find myself being like non-binary and not, you know, female, you know, capital F. But yeah, we would get like toys. Like I would get like a bead, you know, bracelet making kit. He would get like underworld action figures. And he would be like, you know,
Right. Which had to be a big indication to her parents.
I know.
Like, I'm like, come on, you saw that shit.
You know what's funny is I talked to mom and she was like, yeah, we always knew Brad was gay.
Just me?
Bomb.
Just me and not
Just you.
Because being a
Because of-
tomboy
Yes.
is fine.
Because of sexism,
Exactly.
because
Exactly.
of the patriarchy. Like
Exactly.
feminine boys were all like, oh no, something has gone wrong. Masculine women were like, cool.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
That's dope.
You can get
Oh,
away
look
with
at
it,
her.
yeah.
Good. Yeah,
Change your
exactly.
oil.
Yeah.
She can change her oil. He's making
Well, I could make
a
bracelets.
dress. Yeah,
Right.
exactly.
Fuck you.
Oh my God, did he just make a souffle?
I'm
Watch out for
worried.
that
Be
one.
careful.
I'm
Right.
calling the police.
Souffle must be gay.
This is the most amazing omelet ever. Oh my God, he's gay.
Well, this brings us perfectly to our haunted word today. Today's haunted word, it's really 2 words, but it is sibling intuition.
Spooky.
This is fully what we're talking about, but let's broaden it to like the rest of the family. Have you talked to other family members, or what about you, Brad?
Do we have
did
other
you-
siblings?
No. You didn't know about Michaela?
Didn't. Oh my God, Michaela.
No, you know, like other did you ever come out to any other people in our family, or
I don't know that I did. I think that like Dad did, which is weird. He should have let me. yeah. Like the extended family. I don't remember. Honestly, I might have, but it was just like really not climactic.
Yeah.
Because on our dad's side of the family, we had a gay uncle, and he kind of like blazed the trail, I believe. Like he like desensitized them to gay a little bit.
Yeah.
And he got all the weird, awkward questions like, "Is Will and Grace like exactly what it's like?" You know, and shit like that. You know, I can remember them asking that.
really?
Yeah.
Oh no.
Yeah, like, is it realistic? I mean,
And
maybe if
he-
you live in New York.
Right.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Their lifestyle.
Right. And then, yeah, I guess I never like directly told people on mom's side of the family. They're all like upstate New York hicks. Love you guys.
Just very like blue collar,
Blue collar,
working
right,
class,
right,
kind of
yeah.
like you
Yeah,
know.
Billy Joel type people.
Billy Joel.
Like, no, Bruce Springsteen. That's what I meant.
I was like, did he mean Bruce Springsteen?
That's what I meant. Thank you. Yes. They're like,
I was like, I'm not gonna judge.
no.
Billy Joel
Thank
people.
you. I'm glad you knew. Yeah.
You know, just like Boy George, like very clean cut,
That should be
you
very
know,
fitting.
like,
Yeah.
Police officers.
Blue collar,
Right.
Billy. Yeah.
David Bowie types. You know what I'm talking about.
Right. Also androgynous. Yeah. No, I don't know. That's a funny question. I've never really thought about it. But also, like you had mentioned before, and you guys have touched on, like being in control of how you're coming out.
Yeah.
Like you're not
Yeah.
ashamed, but like you're not like reaching out to people you don't fucking care if they know or
Right.
not.
Yeah,
You know,
exactly.
like if they
Exactly.
find out, it's
Not at all.
fine.
Right.
Yeah. So
Right.
like
Exactly.
I'm not super close with a lot of my extended family, and I just didn't care to like let's sit down and talk about this. I'm like,
Right.
if
Make an
someone tells you,
announcement,
I don't care. Yeah.
Yeah.
But-
Yeah.
I got you.
I always got the
Totally.
sense like I'm not telling someone I have some disease.
Yeah.
Right.
You know, so I felt like it
Right.
had such a negative connotation sometimes. Could everyone please sit down?
Yeah.
Right.
Right.
Lower the lights.
Exactly.
The results are in.
The results.
Yeah.
I like penis. It's just like, oh my God. You know? So I just felt
What was
like
the test for that? By the way?
2 drinks. No.
2
2 drinks.
beers.
I feel like there is no need for it to be ominous
Yeah.
and foreboding.
Yeah.
And so I just felt like it should be organic and natural. And I haven't come out to our dad. I haven't come out to him.
Right, yeah. Parents
And-
don't know. Our parents
Right.
don't know.
So I just feel
Yeah.
like, oh, part of me, there is fear, right? Because we're such a close-knit family. I think there's the fear of loss of what will be on the other side.
Totally.
And so I do I have to admit that, and I'll own that part.
Yeah.
But the other part of it is, like you said, I don't just need everybody like hitting me up, you know, talking about, oh my God, we heard it. It's
Yeah.
it's if I bring somebody and you ask me, that's my my boyfriend.
Right.
Yeah.
It's
And
like a
that's-
different level.
That's
Yeah.
me
Yeah.
being in control of it in that way.
Yeah.
But if you come and hang out with me long enough, you'll figure it out.
Yeah.
Or you know what? You'd be surprised. You're not as always in the closet as you think you are. Anyway.
Right, that's true. Yeah.
So
People be
maybe
wondering.
people already
People
kinda
do
know.
wonder,
Right.
but nobody
Yeah.
asks.
Yeah.
Nobody's asked me
Yeah.
about you. But for me, I've told my niece Taylor, and my
Yeah.
2 brothers,
Yeah.
and they were very accepting, and they're like, "Oh, that's great! Like, good for you.
Oh,
Yeah.
great.
Be
Yeah.
happy." I'm like, "Okay."
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, they're
Yeah.
very supportive,
Cool.
very
Super
awesome.
cool.
I
Yeah, our
just-
siblings know about us. Yeah.
Yeah.
our sister. Well, no, my sister
No.
does too. Oh my god,
Yeah,
I did
she
talk to
did.
my sister.
Yeah.
I totally.
Yeah.
I was scared to talk to her because
Really?
She's the oldest.
I was
She's
gonna
the
ask.
oldest.
I was
She's
gonna
the
ask.
oldest.
and she's not too happy with her daughter who's out.
Oh,
Wow.
That's right. We got a
Hey.
trifecta.
But you're probably helping that situation out.
I hope
It's
so.
Surround them by
I
gays.
hope so.
Yes.
That they
Yes.
love.
It's it's
Yeah.
so hard to be the early where you get all the pressure on
Right.
behalf
Yeah.
of everyone,
Right.
And
Yeah.
then everyone gets to kind of like
Yes.
skate through, but it's
Yeah.
important. It's like
Yeah.
Yeah.
She
Yeah.
did ask me. She goes, "What should I do about Taylor?" You know,
What should you do?
like she was
Right.
asking me how should she like be, but it was not in a bad way.
Okay.
She wanted to know like
How could she be
how
there
could
for
she
them?
be there, and then
Yeah.
she was also trying to process it with me. So I
Okay,
felt like
okay.
I think we do have a positive influence
Yeah.
in helping her
I hope
be a
so.
better mom.
she
about
took it very well with me. I was so surprised. I was like,
Yeah.
oh, she's like, oh, that's great. I was like,
right. Exactly.
Yeah.
I love it.
Exactly.
okay, thank you.
Yeah.
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 Right.
I was surprised. So.
I was in the kitchen sweeping, and I just told my brother.
You were like over your shoulder.
Right. I don't know. We were having a very random conversation, and I was like, yeah, because that guy's cute. He's like, what? I go, oh shit, did I just come out to him? And I was like, yeah, that guy, da da da. And he's like, wait a minute, you have a boyfriend? I was like, no, I don't have a boyfriend, but you know, da da da. And he was just like,
Yeah.
oh, okay. And he's like, well, who else knows? And I started telling all these people that know. And he's like, so you didn't? I was like, oh wait, I'm sorry. He got offended. So you didn't tell me? Like I'm number 11 on the list? And I was like, I don't know. You're so conservative. Are you?
Yeah,
I just don't know.
Right.
He's like, no, it's all good. It's all good. And he's been like super accepting.
Oh
Yeah.
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 I love it.
Well, that's
Brothers
the
are
thing
good.
is like you're so worried that they don't know any gay people, and the only way to fix that is to let them know that they know gay people. You know, it's like,
Yeah. Right.
oh gosh,
Right.
it's so
you do,
scary.
you
It's
do.
like
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
such a balancing act. You're like,
Yeah.
well, if I get 3 more people that they know are gay, you know, I can just hop on.
Right. I will say like our mom, she was not like Shirley Phelps. Like she wasn't like holding the signs like
Right.
crazy aggressive. But you know, there were like reminders growing up that like it's wrong. They're going to hell. It's really sad, but they're going to hell.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
There
so
is a
it
little
was
bit
like
of that
it was
because it
put
was
in
so
there.
like religious. You
Yeah.
know? It's just
Absolutely.
like,
Yeah.
well, this is what the Bible says.
Yeah,
and
and
you're
I
like,
will say, like,
nope.
she at least felt like she was like trying to come to terms with that, even when that was her
Yeah.
belief. It was like, yeah, it's really crappy. Like that's what we're told, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But there's still some anger that I have to wrestle with that's like, if she knew you were gay
Right,
from the very
why would
beginning,
she-
why were we at church every Sunday? And why were we at
Yeah.
that church every Sunday?
Right,
Like,
right,
you
right.
can find, I'm
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
kind of like, I think she had a lot on her plate and was like, oh, I'm going to have kids go to church because then they become good people.
Yeah.
You know, it's
Yeah.
like kind of
Yeah.
like a,
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah.
getting
Yeah.
help in raising good kids.
Yes,
Yeah.
right.
But it's like the drawback from that is my
Right.
whole life I'm hearing like wild messages about how something in me is wrong.
That's
Yeah,
right.
yeah, yeah.
Right. As I'm developing as a human being.
Right.
It's
Exactly.
the most
Yeah.
crucial.
Yeah.
of your life. Yes.
yeah,
For
super
sure.
not helpful.
Yeah.
But I'll say like when Allie came out, I saw my mom like really flip it.
That's
Yeah.
awesome.
And it was like, yeah, I felt like very much like helpful to that.
Yeah.
Like it felt really nice that like I could change somebody's mind.
yeah.
Yeah, that's
for
awesome.
sure.
Yeah.
That's
That's
awesome.
good stuff.
Because
Totally.
you don't really realize how
No.
important you are to people. Maybe you kind
Yeah.
of like minimize that in your mind, and you're
Right.
like, "Oh, this is gonna make them really upset, or they're
Yeah,
gonna be
yeah.
gone." But it's like, no, you're really like you're their family.
Of course,
like,
yeah.
we're her
Yes, yes.
only 2 kids.
Yeah.
like she's
Totally.
got a choice to make.
Totally.
And
It's
of
like
course she
this like
would.
ideology versus your flesh and blood, you know?
Yeah, totally.
But you know, like unfortunately you do hear about parents who like disown their kids or
Yeah.
whatever. That
Yeah.
is
Yeah.
so
Yeah.
unimaginable. I always make the argument when people say like, being gay is anti-evolutionary. I think abandoning your offspring because of their lifestyle is anti-evolutionary.
Right.
That is so unnatural.
Yes.
That's so unnatural. Like,
That's unnatural.
no
Yeah.
animals do that, right?
Yeah.
Right,
A
that's
lion just
Yeah.
being like, I'm gonna peace out.
Yeah, right,
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
No,
yeah.
it's so
That's
true.
true.
That's a good point when you say that like that. Absolutely unnatural.
Right.
And it's unfathomable to me.
Right.
Yeah.
No.
Are you kidding me? You just kicked them out and it's raining and cold.
I know, it's
Yeah.
raining,
Because,
yeah.
You couldn't even wait
It's
till they're
always
dead.
that.
Like, yeah.
But that's what's interesting too is I heard someone once say like give your parents as much time as it took you to come to terms with it, which is like decades. You know?
Right, right,
It's like,
right,
okay,
right.
you know,
Well,
but
yeah.
like like everyone's kind of struggling with it together. So I understand if like the day after my mom was like, I wish I could rewrite the Bible and make it okay. That was like her condolence,
Yeah.
which was like in her own language.
right.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
It was like,
Yeah.
okay, you would do that. But still the bottom line was like, well, the Bible says what it says. You know, it's like,
Right.
But
Right.
then as like months and years progress, now she's like she like leads like a study group for people with gay kids. Or
Oh my
she's
God,
like
that's-
always trying to like
Yeah.
tell
That's-
people
she's
that
like
her
an advocate
children
now,
are
yeah,
gay.
totally.
That's awesome.
Total
That's amazing.
ally.
That's
Yeah.
awesome.
Yeah.
Did y'all find that people started when you were coming out to friends and family? They start sending you stuff like, "Oh, you should watch this episode of The Simpsons. There's a drag queen."
Like, first of all, let me tell you what to watch. Why are you like?
Exactly.
My brother is so sweet. He was like, "I think you should watch this episode."
Are you serious?
And I'm like,
God.
"Oh, he's trying to be he's trying to be sensitive to me." Well, thank you. He's like, "You want the pink donut?"
Oh my god.
No, I don't.
I mean, yeah. Like
But
seeing.
trying to be sweet, you know?
Right,
Yeah,
right.
that's
Anytime
nice.
a straight guy is like doing stuff like that is like so cute to me. Like,
Yeah.
a
Yeah.
little shred of sensitivity, like
Yeah.
peeking.
Yeah.
That's
Honestly, the
generalizing,
bar is
but
just
you know.
simply so low.
Oh, you're being sweet.
My friend was like, "You need to
being
watch
sweet.
the episode for Masters of None, where what's her name comes out."
I did just see that.
Oh,
Did you
that
just
was
see
really
that?
good.
I mean,
yes.
that won an
That
Emmy,
one
right?
was, yeah,
that was
it
like a
did.
big
Angela
one, yeah.
Bassett. It was amazing.
Wow.
But I just thought he was like, "You really need to watch that. I think you would really like it."
Yeah.
And I was like, "Okay, well, thank you, man."
Yeah.
It was amazing. The
That's a
episode
great
was
episode.
phenomenal.
Oh, okay.
It's like that episode of Ellen back in the day.
Right.
Oh my gosh,
yes.
What,
yes.
what are you talking about?
Ellen comes out on the
On
show
the
that she's
sitcom?
on the sitcom, yeah, and then
Yeah.
it got canceled.
In real life?
Ellen came
Like,
out in real life, and then they wrote
on
it
the
into the show, and then
and
it
the
tanked
fuckers
show.
canceled it.
Yeah, that was a big deal.
Ugh.
That was a big
That was a
deal.
huge deal. Like, yeah, imagining the
remember
heat
that.
that you got
Yeah.
Fuck.
at that time
Yeah,
to
back
come
then,
out
yeah.
is
Yeah.
so crazy.
Right.
Yeah. They were like not
They're
happy.
like, no, you can't
Wow.
be. No.
Yeah, they were like,
Insane.
actually, no.
And do you guys remember the kiss, like historic kiss on Will and Grace, I think? It was like the first male on male kiss on NBC or something like
really?
that.
Oh,
Yeah, yeah,
Okay, yeah.
yeah.
That's
Did
crazy.
you
That
see
happened.
that live? Did
Well,
that mean something to you? Or
I mean,
you...
maybe I might have been like closeted enough at the time or something. Like I can remember seeing two men kiss on an internet page. like that was insane to me.
Yeah.
Like I
Yeah.
had just never
Yeah.
seen it. It was like
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, that is so hidden, but like women kissing was like everywhere.
I know.
You know? It
Yeah.
was like, so it was like,
Brittany and
okay.
Madonna at the
Right,
time,
but it
you know?
like it wasn't real.
But it
Yeah.
wasn't
It's
real,
real.
and
Like
it
a
was like
stunt for
scary,
men. It's-
honestly.
oh.
Yeah,
The
I'm
way
like,
that
I'm
it
like,
was
that's
done
not-
felt so scary.
Yeah,
And
yeah,
I was like, I don't want to
appreciate
be
that.
a part of
No.
that.
Yeah.
No, yeah.
And like a shock jock thing too. Like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Britney's kissing.
right.
Yeah.
It's so sad. Yeah. 'cause
Was there
Yeah.
any like media or something that stuck out growing up that you remember being like seeing yourself in it? Or like who did you identify with growing up?
Ooh.
Yeah, it's a good question.
That is a good question.
Like a gay role model.
Yeah, or even just like something, I don't know. Yeah, what was there? It feels like we were all raised very similarly.
Yeah.
Right.
Right,
Right.
yeah.
Really religious.
Where this material was not very accessible.
Right.
Yeah, yeah.
Right.
say.
I remember if you like RuPaul was real big in the 90s, right? And MTV and Supermodel, and I remember turning the channel if someone came in, like, you know, that kind of
Yeah,
stuff.
it's like,
Because you're
yeah.
like, I don't want to even be associated with watching it because it's like, why are you watching that? Or
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
know,
The
But
fear
this-
is real. It's
Yes.
just there and like
Yeah.
controlling.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But thinking that's amazing because at one time RuPaul had a talk show, like
Yeah.
the late night talk show, and I used to
Yes.
watch that. But you find yourself watching stuff like at night.
Yeah,
Right, like,
right.
yeah, movies
Totally.
where-
I used to watch
Hidden.
Real Sex, I think on Cinemax.
Oh,
That was my education. That was my education. I was like, ooh, real sex. Everybody sleep. And so it was like, oh, cool. There's little slices, you know?
Yeah.
And I
Yeah.
almost feel like in a way that it's not a wholesome introduction.
Yeah.
Because you're always forced to find things in places that may not be so
Dark.
On the
Yeah.
fringes.
on the
Yeah.
fringes,
See,
right?
Yes,
Yeah.
And that's
totally.
the thing where I would feel like, oh, this sucks. Like,
Yeah.
I don't want to like embrace my sexuality that way.
Yeah, like it's
Yeah.
a dark hidden
Yeah.
secret.
Right, like it's
you
on
know,
the
fringes
yeah.
of
Yeah.
stuff.
Yeah.
And that's what happens when you take it out of like the mainstream.
Right.
Where I guess like now kids have like whatever, Modern Family, any of
Right.
these shows where it's
Right.
kind of like
Big, yeah.
a loving couple, it's in a comedy, they're main characters.
Right.
Yeah.
Versus
Right.
like at night everyone's asleep, I'm on like the,
Yeah.
1,000 channels.
Right.
Trying to find like two people who look like me kissing. Like,
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Totally.
If there's anything I could change, I would want to change that.
Yeah.
And be
Yeah.
able to say, but now there's some amazing stuff like Moonlight. Oh, my
Oh.
God. I was
Killer.
like, are you kidding me right now? Someone who looks like me.
Oh.
And we're talking about the same as far as sexual. Oh, it was amazing.
It was, yeah.
That was, I think, my highlight. And we had to wait this long to get it.
Yeah,
but I was,
Right.
totally.
I was
out.
ready for
It's out there.
Moonlight.
Yeah.
That
Yeah.
was amazing for me. So that
Moonlight,
would be
yeah,
mine.
best movie.
Can you imagine? I guess hypothesize how that would feel to watch as a boy rather than like
Oh my
exposure
gosh.
through
Oh
these
my
other
gosh.
things.
Oh.
Ooh, is that a lot?
There's a scene in the movie where they're sitting on the beach
Yep.
and they're like teenagers and there's that all this tension is going on. That's how I was feeling.
Oh, you're like, that was you.
So-
Right? I was just
Yeah.
like, oh my God, he's so amazing. He's gorgeous, but there's no way I can act on that at
Yeah,
all.
Yeah.
like
Does
it's
he-
so close, but such a barrier.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh God, yeah, that would have been amazing.
Yeah.
Man.
Was there anybody for you like that you liked
Not that I can think
on
of.
TV
Yeah.
or
No,
anything?
honestly, no.
I mean, if
Yeah,
we're talking
I
about like queer media people from the 90s, it's
Yeah.
like.
What is there to
you
choose
know,
from?
Yeah,
Right,
exactly.
yeah.
Truly just what, Ellen?
Right,
yeah.
Rosie? Although
Right.
maybe Rosie wasn't even out yet. I think it was just like. Yeah, that some women are like that. Some straight women are like Rosie.
Exactly.
Not a good role model.
So
Yeah.
funny.
Okay. Well, we always have some viewer submitted questions.
So excited.
For us to answer as a panel, so we'll just hop right into those.
Okay.
Okay. One of my younger cousins, still in middle school, came out to me a while ago. Our family is pretty conservative, including her parents. Would it be wrong of me to take her to events like Pride or something at the local LGBTQIA center without them knowing? Right now, I just offer an ear and maybe that's enough.
Oh, that's a good one.
I don't know about the right and wrong of it, but I could see myself doing that.
Just like taking,
I just that's like
Right.
I don't
Right.
know.
like taking them to Pride.
Pride's a lot. I don't
Yeah.
know. I mean, maybe the parade,
Yeah, yeah.
and it's just like they're in middle school. Yeah, it wouldn't be.
You're not taking
Night
them
Pride.
to like to another
Well,
bar at
no,
Pride.
night pride is different than day pride. Yeah. That would definitely be wrong. Yeah.
Right. Oh, that's a
Um,
good one.
Yeah.
I think the idea of wanting to support somebody in their development is great. So like you
Yes.
said, maybe it may not be that event,
You're right.
but just offering a safe place and maybe
Yeah.
going to, like, let's say you go to the city and let's just have coffee so that you can see other
Yeah.
people showing public display of affection.
Yeah,
Yeah.
totally.
So
totally.
Yeah.
then mom and dad can't be mad. Well, we just went to get coffee.
Right.
It just
Sure.
happened to be
Yeah.
in this one part of the city.
Yeah.
Totally.
So
Right.
I feel like don't ask for permission, but ask for forgiveness.
Oh,
Yeah.
nice.
But like make
Wow.
it this not so clearly labeled event
Absolutely.
where
Right,
you
yeah.
know you're going to intersect with queer
Absolutely.
people and they can see the happy
Absolutely.
Or
life
at
they're
least
having.
like big. Like, I like that idea of a city.
Mm-hmm.
If they're in like a smaller town, oh, let's go hang out in the city
Yeah.
because at least
That's
it
a
will
good idea,
feel
Right.
It'll give you that space.
Right.
That's actually what you said made me think so much when you said like at night watching Cinemax and stuff. Night was so important to me growing up because like we were born into such a pressure cooker of
Yes.
conservatism
Yes.
and just conservatism
Yeah.
and just being like everything is wrong, and then at night it was like, oh, finally
Yes.
I have
Yes.
space.
Your freedom,
Yeah.
your
I
little
I could
time.
watch whatever. I could
Yes.
sit there and think, and I didn't feel like someone
Oh
was
my
watching me.
God.
But I
Yeah.
could feel a city would probably do that too. Like,
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
get them
Definitely.
out, get
In
them
the
in the
day.
big,
Away, yeah.
you know,
Yeah.
in the
Different
street.
area.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You can be in control of that environment. Like, oh my
Yeah.
God, look at two people kissing.
Yeah, exactly.
Nice.
Which just
Supports.
groundbreaking maybe. For the
Right,
person.
right,
Yeah.
exactly. To kind of normalize it.
I also
Yes.
feel like, I mean, mean, maybe I wouldn't want to like add any more pain to where there is, but maybe you could talk to their parents like a little bit more, even if they are really conservative. Push a little bit.
Right.
I don't know. It feels like
Right.
it's like give them a little bit more credit with their kid, but I mean,
Right.
I don't know the situation, so I don't want
Right.
to give
Right.
like information that would like make it inflammatory or
Right,
something like
right,
that.
right.
But
Yeah, that's a good one.
Yeah.
That's a good
Yeah.
one.
all right. What is the right way to apologize and correct yourself if you accidentally misgender someone?
Ooh, that's a good.
Yeah.
I want to know the answer. I don't know.
Yeah, I know, right? Yeah.
Ooh.
I feel like in my experience, when someone's just like, oh, noted. Like they're not like overly apologetic.
Yeah.
Like, oh God, I'm so sorry. Oh, I'm so sorry.
Right.
Like, because that
Because
kind
it
of like
almost puts pressure on you to alleviate their like
Yes,
feelings, and it's
exactly.
like that's not. Yeah.
or if someone feels like they're not really like passing and you're like, I'm so sorry, you're almost like harping on like the fact that they are ambiguous
Yeah,
gender
right.
wise.
Like let's.
Right, right.
Yeah.
I feel like a calm like, oh, okay, got it.
Yeah.
Like, and
Yeah.
then actually get it. Like, actually
Like,
try
Yeah.
to switch that
mental
in your
note.
head.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I can remember around the time that Allie was starting to identify as non-binary, it was like, because I've been talking to some people like at the bar that I work at. A few different people have talked about like their kids or someone they knew who is non-binary, and they're frustrated. They're like, oh, it's so hard, it's so crazy. And I'm like, it's literally like practice. I can understand getting tripped up, but like do it enough, and it's second nature, and you're respecting them, and
Yeah.
you're there for it. But there were times when I was like slipping in the beginning. I felt especially bad because it was around our mom, and I think that was kind of the deal. As I was just like, hey, Allie, I'm really sorry. I just kept saying the wrong thing, and just a quick thing. 'Cause,
Yeah.
I get that.
Yeah.
And
you
I would
know,
be like, thank you so much. Like, even
Yeah.
noticing that you noticed that
Yeah,
you
yeah.
did it sometimes is
Yeah.
like, oh, that's sweet.
right, and it's important to me too.
Aw.
Aw.
Sweet brother. Oh my God. Yeah, I totally agree. And it's also kind of like slang. Like when people are like, oh, they, them is so hard to remember. It's like they're like mad that language is changing.
Like,
which it's like
you
always
cannot
changing.
stop that. Yeah, yeah.
Think
yeah.
of the slang words from 2 years ago. It's
Right.
like,
Right,
that
yeah, they're
sounds
gone,
crazy
yeah.
now.
Right.
So it's like
Right.
you were able to keep up. You keep
Yeah.
up.
No
all the
kidding.
time,
Come
like,
on.
come on.
Yeah, like that doesn't happen.
Yeah. All right. Hello. My name is Dustin. I've been a soldier in the U.S. Army for about 9 years, and I've been out to my fellow soldiers for 6 of those years. Don't ask, don't tell policy being removed got me to come out a year later. Since my time in the military, I've felt as though I've had to be the biggest cool guy of all, and mainly be the first to the gay joke before anyone else in order to gain acceptance. Have you ever felt like a sellout to the gay culture so people would lighten up around you? Or put down someone else in gay culture to make yourself feel better in a group?
That's really big.
Yeah.
I'm like, no.
No, good
That's
for
a
you.
no.
Yeah.
Good for you.
No.
I think one time I said that I was gay instead of bi because I felt like I didn't want to deal with the looks.
Ooh, that's
Wow.
interesting.
Yeah.
Because I felt like if I say, then it's like even within the community, I have to explain myself still
Yeah. Yeah.
as to what that is. And then I think someone came at me and they're like, well, we don't say bi anymore.
Yeah.
And I was like, huh? And they're like, yeah, because we don't want to just, reduce people to two. So I think what you really mean is that you're pansexual.
Oh, they're telling
And
you
I was
what you
like,
are.
well, I appreciate that.
exactly.
Yeah, right.
I said, but I'm new to the party. So
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I'm
All new.
still learning about, and I'm still discovering. So I didn't mean to offend, but I felt offended, like, because it was so.
Yeah, it's also like, don't tell me
accusatory.
what
Yeah.
I am.
Right. And I was
Yeah.
just like, oh, and I felt like that was in my head. So then sometimes when I'm meeting people, I'm like, okay, make sure say what you, like, this is who you are.
Yeah.
Don't feel like you need to water it down or change
Right.
it to be more, so other people think it's okay. Like,
Totally.
Yeah, but
no.
that thing in the beginning, that kind of stumped me.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's hard.
And
yeah.
I was like,
Sucks.
oh, dang. And plus, I'm new, and I'm like, oh, okay, so I gotta, okay, all right. Almost
I
kind of
can't
like,
say
wow.
this, can't say that.
yeah,
Yeah.
these
Like, they
hoops
gave
you
me
have
a
to
lesson.
jump through. Oh gosh,
Yeah.
that's
so
hard.
irritating. That person, yeah.
LGBTQI 101. We don't do that anymore. We don't
Yeah.
say that anymore. And I was like, well, it's still B. Y'all still say LGBTQI.
Right, it's in there.
The B didn't go away?
The B no more.
The
Why
B is
it on the
actually
shirts?
for Biazard.
Yeah,
You didn't know what
I
that
thought
means.
I was the B. Yeah, I was the checking the B. It's still on the shirt.
Also,
I
as though
didn't
bi
know.
people need any more bullshit to deal with.
Yeah,
It's
man.
like, and you're not even bi. It's like, okay.
God, all
let me
this like
figure out-
creating
there's a lot
little
to deal with.
factions.
Yeah.
Like I get,
exactly.
I'm sorry to say it, but like in the queer community, I've seen a lot of that of just creating smaller and smaller factions until it's like tiny categories. And I love full acceptance, but like that feels like derision, not acceptance.
But it's like, leave the door open if you're moving through, rooms or whatever. Leave these doors open. Don't shut it behind you and be like, that's no longer a room.
Right.
Like
Not
no one else can
available.
be in there
Right.
because I'm
Yeah.
over here now. It's like, come on.
yeah, just include. Don't like take it out.
Yeah.
I like that.
Well, on this question, like I think it's actually like really big to even admit to yourself of like this going on. This what
Right,
he's saying
yeah.
that he's like kind of really. It sounds like kind of accommodating to like straight men energy, and
Yeah.
maybe for a lot of these guys, they don't know a lot of gay people. So he's
Yeah.
like, yeah, I'm their intro gay person, and I felt that way before in a group of like especially straight men that I have to like be a little more palatable to them. And it's sad. Like I'm truly ashamed to have ever done that because it's like it's kind of almost vaguely self-hating is how I felt.
Totally.
about it.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And
Absolutely.
I don't know. I think it's like really big of this person to just even admit that to themselves and present this question because
Yeah.
I've experienced that too, where it's like not even necessarily self-deprecating, but like, I'm like a super double man, but gay, that can happen. And it's
Right.
like,
Yeah.
just
Right.
be authentic as
in
much
this
as
like
you can.
macho world,
Yeah.
trying to kind of like navigate it by.
It's just like a severe energy sometimes.
yeah.
To the person that submitted the question, just, bravo to you. And I think we're all going to make mistakes as we go through our journey of discovery.
Yeah.
Right? And
But
so
it's all a journey to like your truest self, I think.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Totally.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Yeah, that's
So
great.
best of
You'd have
luck.
to, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, best of luck in
Yeah.
the army out there. It sounds it's a big
Yeah.
Right.
Right.
big job.
Fighting 2 wars.
Yeah.
I don't know. Let's continue.
Do you know this person?
No, that's a lot of. That's a lot. Yeah.
Brad
We're all
is like,
just sitting with the idea of being gay in the military. Like,
Right.
that sounds harrowing.
I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe it's
Right.
not. I hope it's not.
I hope it's not.
Right.
I hope it's normal.
right.
Moving on. Okay. Hello. I recently came out to my parents by telling them that I have a girlfriend. They were pretty okay with it. It was no big deal. However, they won't let me tell anyone else in the family. I was wondering if anyone else has ever experienced this. It really feels nice that my parents don't care about my gayness, but at the same time, why can't I tell anyone?
Yeah.
Is there an age for that
Nah,
person?
nothing.
Wow.
Yeah, that's hard. It's like you're getting half acceptance and half
Right.
a little bit of like
Right.
shame. Maybe
Totally,
the implications to me would be like you're okay with it yourself, but you don't want other people to know. That's like it's shitty.
It kind of
Get right,
I
parents.
think other
Come
people are
on.
gonna find out though.
Yeah, come on.
They're
You
gonna
can't
find out,
stop
right?
this.
She's with her
Yeah.
girlfriend all the time. Like,
Yeah.
they're gonna find out. So
Yeah,
I wouldn't
totally.
worry.
Yeah.
They're gonna find out.
Because it's like, how long is that going to be your best friend?
Right.
Yeah, 10
Yeah.
years.
together.
Yeah. I can remember
Dances.
our gay uncle, his roommate, bought me
Right,
like
right.
he bought me like a $500 telescope for Christmas. I'm like, you come on.
You're such a good roommate.
Yeah, wow, yeah.
I know in the African American community, like that is the go-to. Oh no, that's just her roommate,
Right, yeah,
That's your auntie's roommate.
Yeah.
I'm like,
For
auntie?
20 years, yeah.
Right, exactly.
They went on a cruise together.
Right. A gay cruise.
They have matching rings.
Right? Aw.
That's just your auntie's friend.
That's
Tina.
a roommate ring.
Right, like, okay.
for
Special
life.
ring. You get down on one knee to be a roommate.
Oh God.
Yeah, that's. I think that's a hard one for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I can kind of see like some parents are like, they're always so worried about how the world is gonna treat
Yeah.
their gay
It
kid.
could be like
They
a
think they're
protective
They think they're
instinct.
protecting, but it's
Yeah.
like not at all. You're just
No.
injecting
Right.
more
Yeah.
fear and
Right.
shame
Yeah.
into there.
That's a good place because you're protecting, but I would like your protection as I am exposing my truth.
Yeah, right.
Versus your
That's true,
protection
yes.
from me
Like,
being
let's
true.
bury this a little bit.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes.
Right? So
Yes.
just protect me as I expose my truth.
Yeah.
But don't protect me by hiding
By
my
hiding.
truth.
Yes.
Yes,
Completely.
totally. I think that's probably just a conversation with the parents.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
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 Definitely.
Okay. I came out to my mom recently, parentheses, sorta. She acted a bit shocked and confused when I wanted to use the term queer. She then went on to ask why I felt like I needed to use such weird, different, or specific language. Hey. I tried to explain that I like the term queer because of its inclusivity and flexibility, but she still didn't seem to understand. How do I validate my identity to people who don't believe that the labels I'm using are real or valid?
Wow.
Oh, this person is they, them.
They, them.
Okay.
Ooh, these are good questions.
Right.
Questions.
Yeah.
Well,
It's
that's
great.
like the struggle of the time, you know?
Yeah.
Really, you can't make people do anything really, but just authentically be yourself.
Yeah, just
Present,
have to be.
yeah, present that to them, and hopefully they'll get with it in time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think I do know, like, queer probably to our parents' generation feels maybe a little shocking as, like, a
Yeah.
word choice for us. Because
Right.
they're like, that was the bad word.
Yeah,
You know,
yeah, yeah, yeah.
That was the scary word. And now
Right.
we're kind of, like, reclaiming it.
Right.
Yeah.
So I could see that being in there.
Kind of
but-
jarring for the parents.
Yeah, yeah.
You know?
So
I feel like what you said, Brad, is true. Just experience is the best teacher. So I'm just going to live out my truth. And like you said, over time, I think everyone comes around to accepting you for who you are.
Yeah,
Right,
and
right.
now they've seen a person like that. and
Right,
they're like,
right.
Okay,
Yeah.
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 Everything
And it-
becomes like a teachable moment.
Right. I think the only key thing to adhere to is to not adjust any of that to make them more comfortable or
Yeah.
more palatable.
True.
It's kind of like that last question of the guy in the army.
right.
Yeah,
Right,
You know, I
right.
think that's like I understand how he would do that, but like that's not the move. I don't think
Yeah,
you just
not
need
the
to
best move.
expose it.
Yeah, and when you feel yourself kind of slipping into like, and how do I make myself palatable? You can feel
You
that
listen
kind
to
of
yourself.
grossness.
Listen in your
you know?
body.
Yeah,
You'll feel
yeah.
it. Yeah. Yeah.
Totally.
I think
yeah.
so.
And I think we live in a digital age. There may be like YouTube videos that you can watch where people have talked about this kind of stuff, even just for your
Yes.
parents to watch. Well, Mom, can you watch this?
Yeah.
Or Dad, just watch
Yeah.
this 2-minute
Totally.
video real quick.
Totally.
I think
Yeah.
maybe they have words to explain what I'm trying to say, and I may not be getting it across.
Yeah,
So just
yeah.
using
Yes.
digital media to your advantage.
Totally.
Yes.
Podcasts.
Po-
you know, I don't
right.
know, this podcast.
Right.
Yeah,
Send,
for instance.
send this podcast
Right.
out to people who you love.
Right. And you
It's a
got
teaching tool.
Exactly.
You know,
Exactly.
what kind of tools do we have at our disposal? This podcast. And,
Exactly.
Pretty good one.
no, but yeah, same. All right, our final one. Wait. Yeah, our final one. Let's see. How can I be more involved in the queer community? Living my life is itself a political statement, but I don't think I'm contributing enough to push boundaries in gender nonconforming, openness, or helping struggling queer youth. Thank you so much. My name is Danielle. I'm a queer man, and I use he, him.
Nice. Nice. Ooh, how can you get involved? Local LGBT center?
Yeah, whatever.
Yeah,
Yeah.
right?
Right?
Yeah.
There's
For
volunteer
sure.
opportunities at
Yeah.
the
Totally.
LGBT
Yeah, if
center.
you feel drawn to like queer youth, I feel like
Right.
definitely
Work
something
with them,
like
yeah.
that.
Yeah.
There's
Right.
like queer youth homeless shelters. I know there's
Yeah.
like
Okay.
Right. Just last year putting together pamphlets for like people knocking on doors just to get people registered. And so the
Oh,
LGBT
okay.
Yeah, yeah.
Center hosted that. So I may not have been out on the pavement, but just coming into the center and
Yeah.
putting the packets
Okay.
together.
Totally,
felt really
you're
good.
part
It
of
great.
felt
the-
really
Okay.
good. So
Yeah.
maybe that's something you can do.
Yeah.
I kind of have because I was a youth leader as well.
Ah,
and that was like I loved it. And there's
Yeah.
no queer version of that.
Right.
Like, I had
Yeah.
so much like creativity to
Yes.
give in making these like
Yeah.
obstacle
Yes.
courses and like
Right,
church
right.
camp
Yeah.
life.
Right, right.
And now I'm just kind of like sitting around like, okay, like
Right,
yeah, I
right,
could be so
right.
good.
You're really good.
Right.
You're really
cool
good.
gay version of that. you
Yeah,
know?
yeah, yeah,
Like,
yeah.
Exactly.
Sometimes I fantasize about going like undercover. Church camp circuit.
Yes.
That would be-
Yes.
That'd
me
be
in
such
Texas.
a movie.
Could you
Oh my
imagine how
God.
amazing that
You know,
would be?
yeah, totally.
Wow.
Oh my God, Allie, we love you.
Yeah,
You
I'm
work
like,
so
I
well
love
with
you
the
too,
kids.
and you can love whoever you want.
Oh my God. Do it.
Do
Oh my
it.
God.
You should.
Now it's out there.
I
People
don't-
might know.
Yeah, I don't think you
don't know.
can
They
I
don't
now.
got
know.
like a severe haircut. And,
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
I just go back to dressing in only tie dye like I used to.
And you got to play acoustic guitar,
Yeah,
right?
oh,
Yeah,
of
yeah,
course,
yeah,
like
yeah,
the gym So many levels of not
Love
okay.
is love.
Yeah.
I have a new song to teach all of you.
It's called Love Wins Pride 2020. Okay. Yeah.
That would be
Do it.
amazing. That would be
Do it.
amazing.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Well, that's it. Turn turn off the cameras.
Lights turn off.
But
yeah.
it is true. Our time has come to an end. Thank
Oh
you so
my
much.
gosh.
It's been
for
so
being-
nice.
This has been
I love this.
so
This
nice.
is dope.
This is
Yeah.
new.
So dope.
Yeah.
Who,
I enjoyed it.
Where would people who are listening find you should you wish to be found? Brad? Maybe not physically, but I just feel like,
Well,
you're
my
not a
address
very like social
is-
media person, so I
I'm
knew
really
you
not
might
plugged in
know.
online. Yeah, not much at all. I'll find you.
Yeah, no. Do you have any like shows or anything that you want to plug?
No, not really.
Any let's see, cocktails, you're a bartender. What's like a good cocktail
of the
recipe
week.
that people
Good
can make and think
cocktail
of
the
you?
week. Okay.
You'll be there in spirits.
Yes, right. Make an aviation. That's a really nice cocktail. Like gin, lemon juice.
Oh.
Why are we going
I
here?
like that you went here with me. That's why we work well together.
Awesome.
Yeah.
An aviation?
Yes, it's gin maraschino liqueur, lemon juice, and creme de violet, and it's a really cool color. It's like slate blue. It's like
Ooh.
you look cool holding it. You look like the Devil Wears Prada, Meryl Streep kind of like
I like it. I like it.
bitch. You look like
You're
a
just
bitch.
like, yeah,
Yes.
totally.
Right, like, yeah.
Yes.
Love it.
like
All
it.
right.
So I don't perform or anything, but I do professional pet sitting, dog walking. So
Ooh.
if people want to find me there, I'm at 29 Animo on Instagram.
Cool.
ANIMAUX.
Cool.
Yay,
Nice.
pet sitting.
She loves the doggies.
I love the doggies.
Yeah, if anyone's in the SoCal area.
Right.
Yes.
I am at Ken Brown 79 on Instagram, and I have a podcast that I do.
Oh, fun.
Can I promote my podcast?
Yeah, please.
Oh my gosh!
Get
So
it
I
on
do a
here.
podcast called My Fave with my co-host Marcellus, and we are both out. And that may not necessarily be the focus of it, but with My Fave, we talk about our favorite movies and television shows.
Yes.
And so each episode is a different genre. So favorite black and white movie, favorite comedy, favorite rom-com.
Yes.
And so he does TV and I do movies. So you can find us at My Fave.
Love it.
All streaming, everything.
Cool.
My
Yay.
Fave.
New
My
episode
Love
out
it.
today.
New episode out today.
Got that reminder.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. Wait, what's it on?
It's on. We're on everything.
Okay,
Yeah.
love it.
Yeah, we're on everything.
Yes.
All platforms.
Nice.
All platforms.
All right. Well, thank you so much,
Thank you.
everyone, for being here.
Oh my God! Thank you for having us. This was so awesome.
This is
Yes.
cool. Thank you for waiting for me.
Oh yeah. Thank you, everyone. I hope you have a great week.
Yeah.
Bye bye. Hey, what's up? It's Allie. If you like college humor and you want to support us, please sign up for Dropout. For the low, low price of a bag of crickets for your pet lizard, you'll get videos a whole week sooner, to chat with us in the Dropout Discord, and exclusive content such as my show, Total Forgiveness. By the twilight's last gleaming. Sign up for your free trial today, and please send me a picture of your lizard. I want to see her. I want to see her dance.